Hey, what's up everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here, and I wanted to do something interesting, something that's popular and popping up. I don't know how new this is, but it's really just been, in the news, Petapixel, all that kind of places, and I wanted to try it out. Why not? It is a free online and smartphone photo editor, and it is called Polarr with 2 R's. So I'm just going to try it out here. It says it can take RAW files, so I'm just going to give this a test and give you my thoughts, and we'll check this out live. See if it's something that you can use, maybe instead if you can't afford like Adobe Creative Cloud or any other systems. Let's jump into this right now. So I have 3 photos that I'm going to test. 2 are the same. One's going to be a RAW file, one's going to be a JPEG, and the other one's a RAW file that's really like in a, very bad like white bouncing situation. And let's just give this a test. I've never tried this before, and I think you can use it in a web browser. Right now I'm using Firefox, and I can see here, it's an extension for Chrome, so that way you can edit right on, whatever page you're on or whatever you're using. You could go right into there. So let's dive into this, and this is what it looks like. So, all right, where would we go from here? I guess we maybe check the web. All right, so this is Polarr. This is what it looks like. Okay, I'll skip through this chart right here. So essentially what happens is when you open it up, it gives you like 8 steps and a run through. They've got presets and everything here. You could make your own and everything like that. You can track your history, and you have all your sliders, tones and curves, everything right here. It really does kind of look like Lightroom just a little bit, maybe a little bit of a GIMP, but let's really just kind of go into this and see, what we have. So I'm going to import from my computer. And I have test subject here. And I'm going to just try this Thinker one that I shot in New York. Let's see if it opens it. This was a RAW photo. So the max size, I can't open this up because it reached a max size. So I guess you have to watch, I guess the size. This was only like 26 megapixels? 26 megapixels, so you can't do it. It's too big. This one, let's just open up this Thinker thing. Okay, so it opens up, and let's just kind of take a look and see what it does. So the RAW file thing is pretty discouraging if you're just trying to use it, especially on here. But, whatever, I guess, we'll take it as it is. And I'm going to see if we can, like, fit it on screen or something somehow. Let's see, zoom in, zoom out. So that's a 29%. It tells you the size right here. I don't know, let's just kind of go through. So I don't know how to like revert back to original. Is there an option? Rotate. I'm not sure. I just want to see what this gives me, especially in the highlights in a situation, because it was very kind of like hazy and humid this day. So I really want to see what detail this brings. Okay, so let me just kind of mess with this and see how I want to go along. There's our histogram. You can kind of see it. Well, that instantly like flattened out for some reason. So I guess right here is something acceptable. I'm going to pump the old contrast. We'll make this a high contrast type image. Now, I want to pull these highlights back and see what it gives. So that's if I was adding it. This is where it was. It does a pretty decent job. Obviously can't fault that. It's looking good so far. Give this a nice little thickness right here. Maybe give it a little bit of detail. Keep it right there. Oof, if you go sharpening on here, it really exacerbates it. I gotta say the softness on here, you do get a little soft, especially if you go on the clarity, but it's not as bad if you're using maybe like a Photoshop or something like that. So maybe if you like that special effect, which I kind of hope you don't, you might enjoy that. But, I think this does, exactly what it needs. Vibrancy, if I just want to give this a nice little push. But let's say if we want to make this a good black and white type photo or, go crazy. So let's go black and white. Actually, before that, I want to kind of mess with the white balance to see how it works. Let's make it a little warmer. Softer. The thing I wish it did was kind of tell you, so that way if you're learning, you know what the Kelvin temperature is. So I wish it told you that, but, you get your -7s and all that kind of stuff. It kind of drops off rather quickly. I don't know, something around there. But let's just act like we're doing black and whites. We're going to go something like this, like this. Now, say if I want to add like some kind of vignetting, is there even an option for that? There's the turns. Oh, there's hidden things down here. We didn't know about this. Okay, so if you don't know, there's hidden effects down here. See, grain, vignetting. There we go. Let's see if this will do what I want it to. I don't like the vignette in this. It's really too circular for what it is, but whatever, that's okay. Let's just see if it does lens correction. I believe this was my 24-70. I'm not sure because it doesn't give me the metadata. Does it? Nope, it does not give me the metadata. So let's just kind of see what it does here. Oh boy, I wouldn't mess with that, and you can't undo it. Unfortunately, I don't see any undo button or anything. So if you want to keep, you can just click that, I guess. That's all right. You have more crops. You can keep it 1:1. You could, make it a little more custom. Enter. Nope, that doesn't do it. You just click it again. That's fine. So I don't know. Overall, so this doesn't get necessarily that boring. I think it does pretty well. It is what it is. It's got your filters and all this stuff that I would never, ever use. But what does exporting look like? So let's just say the best 100% quality, at 100%. Let's download it. Is this what it's going to do? This means a lot to us. So I'm just going to save the file. I'm going to hit cancel. Open it up. So there you go. It's not like watermarked or anything like that. Trust me, I would never edit it like this. So there you go. That's that. I mean, that's pretty simple. So there's that. Now, can you do 2 at once? Let's see what this looks like. And this isn't going to open this one, so it's probably going to, make this short. So I don't know. So overall, this was kind of my quick run around. Sorry, it was kind of just, plugging and playing. But I was kind of experiencing this with you as well. Maybe you didn't even know about this. So this is called the Polarr, the Polarr.co. This is something you could use for your phone, for all different kinds of your web, Firefox, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you want to use, it's a free alternative. See if you like it. I'll even link it down in the description below. For what it does, it does great things. I'm just trying to see, there's denoise, which I'm sure isn't going to be that great. I don't think you can heal and all that kind of stuff. There you can see the original. I don't think you can really go in depth, and that's where you get hurt in this. This is kind of, it is what it is type of thing. So overall, for basic editing, you get exactly what you need. But if you still want to do skin corrections and all that kind of stuff, and just something, maybe it's under effects or something. So if you want to do something more in depth, maybe touch up the skin or get kind of Photoshoppy, unfortunately, I don't think, unless they do some kind of, update, I don't think you can do it in this program. So it looks like it really doesn't support actual raw files, like actual really big raw files, which is kind of the purpose of shooting raw. You don't want to, degrade your quality. That's the whole purpose. But, basic JPEG editing for majority of the audience, for who cares. This is going to work perfectly fine for you. I'd be comfortable editing a photo with this, but I do unfortunately need the other stuff. So there's just some certain things where it justifies me keeping Adobe Creative Cloud over something like this, and especially getting a little more specialized. But overall, basic, not that bad.